Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've created anything, and I'm actually really excited because I'm now getting back into a consistent schedule, and we're now into March. So today's video is going to be my March TBR, very short, to the point. I am slowly but surely increasing my number of books that I'm putting on my TBR, and actually this month I'm planning on theming this month all the way up to December. So I have a different theme every month that I'm going to incorporate into my TBR. This month I'm doing fantasy sci-fi. So a lot of the selections that I did, some of them are not, fantasy and sci-fi, but a big bulk of those items will be within that genre. So many of these books that I did select, I don't really know much about the books. Bear with me as I go through them, but yeah, let's just dive right into it. So the first book that I have on my TBR for March is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the rendition of Newt Scamander. I'm doing this one on audiobook because a lot of the times when I'm like coding and working during the day, I need background noise, and the biggest thing that I gravitate towards is audiobooks now. I thought this would be a great precursor because I am going through and reading the series. I thought since last year, if you've been with my channel that long, I have been slowly but surely going through the series. I am now on Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is also on my TBR this month, so I can kind of say that I am going to read this big chunky thing. I'm looking forward to reading this and the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I know Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is probably only going to be about an hour and 50-minute long read for March, so I'm really looking forward to at least having like a small book, but something that, I really like, that it's like a lesson on the magical creatures. I wish that there was more like of the astronomy and the potions and divinations and things like that. I wish there was more books like that, but Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I'm really excited about diving into it and like learning about the different creatures that are within the series. So I'm really looking forward to the Order of the Phoenix though, because this is one of the books that I've seen the movie, but I've never actually physically read the book. I'm now getting into the books within the series that I never actually picked up and actually read. So this big chunky thing is a little intimidating, but regardless, I am starting to get much quicker into my reading. I've been able to block off still about an hour to 2 hours worth of time every day to reading, so I'm really excited about having this one on my TBR for the month. The next one that I have, and actually this was part of my January and December and February reads, but with everything that kind of like transpired in the last few months, I'm giving myself grace for not having this one read yet, but it is Ready Player 2 by Ernest, Cline. I'm about 50% of the way through the book already. I'm not loving it as much as I loved Ready Player 1, and I'll talk about that in another video, but I am really curious on how this ends. I'm really anxious to get to the end. It's going to be a really quick read because this is like only 336 pages, I want to say. And with being halfway through already, I feel like I can really tear this up and get it done in March. So I'm actually looking forward to getting to the end. I hope that I love it more than I'm loving it. Right now I'm not loving it. I like it, but I'm hoping that I have like this strong, I hope it increasingly gets more interesting so that I can say I absolutely love it just like the first one. But I do have this on my TBR. I really enjoyed the first one. I ranted and raved about Ready Player 1 for weeks last year, and I had read it, and I was obsessed with it. Just because it had like the pop culture, and it had from the 80s, and it had the video game element to it, And now we're kind of diving into the aftermath of afterwards of him being the winner of the Oasis and the fortune of holidays, Easter eggs. So it's been very interesting so far, but I'm not going to dive too much into how I feel about it. I want to get to the end and then I'll have another video out talking about this one. The next book that I have is The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. And I will have another video talking about the other in this series because I did finish it. But I do have the third installment of this series. It's the Truly Devious series, and I'm actually really loving the series as a whole. Like, I really love what Maureen Johnson does, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this particular one in the series ends, because there's actually another one coming out soon. I can't remember specifically when it's coming out, but I'm looking forward to that one as well. So my book club, I don't know if I've mentioned this on my channel yet. I probably haven't because I've been doing a lot of recording, but I haven't been doing a lot of editing and posting yet. So I started a book club, online book club discussion type thing. I've been itching and dying to do a book club just because I love talking about books. Like, even beyond my YouTube channel, the book that my book club voted on is The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah. I have never read anything of Kristin Hannah. I hear she is like the goddess of historical fiction, and I'm really looking forward to this one because it takes place in a Depression era. I don't know much beyond that, but I'm really looking forward to this one. It's about a 448-page read, so it's going to take me some time to get through it. But I am looking forward to this discussion with my book club. I think we have about 74 people in the group. So if you're interested in joining, feel free. See the link in the description below and you can join as well. So, but that is the pick for March, and I'm looking forward to getting started today. Since today is March 1st. So yeah, there's like, it bounces a little bit with my TBR, but we're getting there, you know? But the other books that I'm going to read are, well, at least I have on my list, but An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I've heard amazing things about this sci-fi, and I'm looking forward to listening to it through the Libby app. It is on my list, and it's like one of my top 5 that I definitely want to make time to listening to. I already mentioned The Order of the Phoenix, so we don't have to repeat that. I have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have the ebook through the Libby app, and I don't know how much time I'm going to physically have to sit down and read. I know like this Four Winds is going to take up quite a significant amount of my actual reading time. I do have it on my list. I'll probably just like continue to push it forward. I find that I'm really submerged in this one and it's taken me a long time, but my other 3 books that I have on audiobook, because typically I can get through about 7 to 10 audiobooks per month, just because of the fact that I listen to nothing but audiobooks when I do work, and I work about 5 to 6 days a week, so add about 7 to 10 hours worth of listening time. It's totally doable. So but the 3 other books that I have on my list are The Way of the Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've never read anything from his, but everyone keeps telling me if you want to read a book on like fantasy, high fantasy, definitely read a Brandon Sanderson book. So I'm jumping on that wagon. I am all for it. I've heard really great things about the Stormlight Archive series. I'm ready to buckle up and read that massive chunky book, and I probably will like combine reading physically with the audiobook because it is a really big book. I don't physically have it on hand with me right now. I haven't picked it up from the library, but I do have a hold and it's ready for pickup. So, but I saw the audiobook and it's about a 45-hour listen, so that's probably going to take me an entire week to just like commit to the way of the kings. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. That is my nonfiction pick for the month. I have read this book in the past, but it's been several years since I've read it, and I'm looking forward to it because I've been trying to incorporate nonfiction books into my reads per month just to give myself like time and self-development, if you will. So I'm looking forward to that one. From what I remember of reading it a few years ago, it was a very, very good book, and I was able to incorporate some things, but I want to kind of like, you know, really take it in and maybe apply more of the principles that he mentions in the book. The final book that I have for an audiobook is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. This is the second in the Murderbot Diaries series. I really loved the Murderbot Diaries. Like, I really loved All Systems Red, and I have been on this hold list to get a hold of the second in that series, and it's finally happened. Like, everything, the stars have aligned, and I'm able to now listen to the second in that series. So I'm really excited about diving back into her books. She does like novellas, so they're very small. I think the Artificial Condition is only 152 pages, but I don't know much like going into this one. Like, I didn't know much about going into the first one, but I absolutely loved it. I love that there was a persona of like an android robot like talking, so I was like really excited and all about it. But that is also being incorporated with my sci-fi like genre picks for the month. So but yeah, that's everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have read any of the books that are on my list. I will leave a link of all the books that I mentioned in the description below as it allows me. But until next time, guys, take care. Bye.